Hi everyone. Okay, I'm just checking to see if everything's working fine. Give me a moment, I'll start in about a minute. Okay. Yep, I think everything should be working fine. I can see that everyone can see my screen. You guys should be able to hear me clearly. If not, just let me know in the chat box. Testing, testing. Hello. Testing. Okay, everything should be working fine. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to today's webinar brought to you by IC Markets. Yeah, how's everyone going? Hi. Cool. So today's webinar, we're going to do a live analysis session. Today's the 27th of October. Yeah, basically we're going to go on the live charts and I am going to show you how I would usually do my analysis. Okay, this is not the same analysis every trader would do. I'm just sharing my style of doing analysis. It may not be for you, but the whole point of this again is so that you can see from a different point of view and a different perspective of how someone would do it. Okay, so yeah. Cool. So let's just start. Okay, yeah, so before I actually continue into like doing the analysis for today and what I'm gonna cover, I do need you guys to go through this disclaimer with me. I will stay here for a minute or two later on, but basically this disclaimer is a reminder that you guys should not take this webinar as any form of financial advice, any form of investment advice, or any kind of signal to buy or sell. Again, I am just showing you my style of trading. It may not be the same style for every trader, and because it's just my style, it's more like giving you a different perspective of how to do analysis. So please do not take it as a signal to get in for a buy or sell, because I know later I will write like buy entry, sell entry, take profits, and stop loss. I'm basically doing it for myself, and you are just seeing from your point of view. Okay, so please do not, again, take this as a signals group. A risk warning: trading forex and CFDs carries significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. So please be cautious when you are trading. You may lose more than you intend to. Okay, please don't jump into the ocean before learning how to swim. Other than that, yeah, I will stay here for a minute so you guys can read through the disclaimer, and then we can officially start today's session. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I slowly see people joining. Hi. I'm going to introduce myself. For those who don't already know me, my name is Cassandra. You guys can call me Cass. I am an investment analyst at Everest Fortune Group. Everest Fortune Group is a research firm which has been the finalist for the best forex and best equity research for multiple years running. What we do here is a lot of back testing, a lot of forecasting, a lot of like researching on the markets and understanding how strategies work and how basically the market works. So we are very versed with the markets. We understand the markets thoroughly. Okay. Other than that, because we understand the market so well, I am a prop trader. Okay. What do I mean by prop trading? It means that I have taken tests and I've passed those tests and I have been funded by those companies where I took those tests from. Okay, how do I pass the test? You need to do 10% profit within a month, which is 22 trading days because the weekends are not counted to pass the test. Okay, 10% for me is actually a normal month. I am currently in 6% for this month. We've got this week left. If I can end this week in 4%, then I will end the week in 10%. Okay, so hi Lily. Okay, so I will show you guys exactly how I do my 10% a month. Okay, in this live analysis session, and I will review how I every week when I do this analysis session, I will review how I even got those. I will review the trades from the week before and whatnot. Okay, so our agenda for today is to go through the key approaches, cheat sheet checklist, and live charts. Okay, so I do need to go through this. I know a lot of you are regulars and you would have already understood this, but you know, it's important that you have a structure before you do anything. So the first thing first is I do need to know where trend is going because I am a trend trader. I need to know if price is going up or down. And once I've identified that, I basically use a trend line and a channel to mark it out on the charts. On top of that, once I'm done finding trend, that means I will know if I'm going in for a buy or a sell, right? I will know if I'm entering a buy or a sell. So if I am entering for a buy or sell, I would then need to ask myself the next question, which is, where do I get in for the buy or the sell? Where do I get out if I do get in for the trade? And where is my stop loss? Okay, so how do I do that? I use horizontal levels. When I say horizontal levels, I mean pullbacks, overlap, significant swing highs, swing lows, Fibonacci levels. Okay, these are very important in my analysis. Okay, so other than that, I do see if there's any chart patterns, any death or golden crosses, any natural moving averages, and then I will pull out stochastics and RSI to look for support and resistance and diversions. And lastly, I will look for correlations. So correlations are, for example, if I am doing an analysis on USD CAD, I also want to look at the price of oil. Why? Because oil prices usually move in the same direction as Canadian dollars. Okay, another example of correlation is if you are trading any of the USD pairs, so it can be EUR, USD, for example, you do want to maybe do an analysis on DXY. DXY is the US dollar index, which measures the movement of the US dollar. Because if you are buying the EUR USD, that means you want the USD to drop, and that means that the DXY should be dropping as well. So these are example of correlations. Other example is going currency by currency. So if you are trading anything to do with AUD, so it can be the Australian dollars against the US dollars, you might also want to look at NZD USD because they are very much correlated. Okay, they are very much correlated. On top of that, you want to look for reversals and breakouts to kind of know where you're getting in for a buy or a sell. Okay, so that's all I have for my checklist. We will be referencing this checklist a bit later on to see how we can do our analysis. Thank you for sitting through that. Just give me a minute to pull out TradingView. Sorry, I forgot to pull it out just now. Give me a moment, yeah. Okay. I've got TradingView out right now. Okay, so the first thing I want to do as usual is to kind of review what we did last week. Last week, I only did two analysis. I remember it was EUR USD. I know it was EUR USD because I personally got into that trade. Okay, so I got into this trade. I got in for a sell here actually. So I wrote here sell entry or buy entry. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember this from last week. I got in for a sell, but as you guys can see, it didn't reach the take profit. Okay, it didn't reach the take profit because the take profits were down here, but it reached here. So I personally got out a bit earlier, okay, because I noticed that the momentum was losing. Because I went into my charts to see if I wanted to go into the charts to see if the trade was over, and it wasn't over, and it's quite unusual because usually my trades will last at least a day. Wait, okay, so it would usually last 1 day or 2 days. So after 2 days, my trade would have been over. So I got in on this trade on a Tuesday, I think. I think it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I got in here on Tuesday. So I got in for the sell on Tuesday. And then once I got in, 2 days later, I come back and review. And 2 days later, the trade was still moving. So that's when I'm like, okay, I think I should get out because it's very unusual. It looks like price is losing momentum because usually within 1 or 2 days, price would have already hit my take profit or my stop loss. In this case, it was still hovering. So I actually just got out prematurely. So I got out somewhere around here. My risk to reward was about 1 to 2. So I did about 2% last week actually. Yeah. My stop loss was probably tighter because I know my risk to reward was 1 to 2. Yeah. So I did 2% last week from this trade. Let's reanalyze whether I think price is going to continue moving down, because then that will be the second chance to get in for a sell again. Okay, I am now a bit more confident of this sell. Why? Because my criteria from last week is that if price breaks the red box, which it did, it broke the red box, there is a good chance it will continue downtrend to the take profit, which is here, right? So it didn't reach the take profit, but it reached to this swing low here. I think if there is a chance for it to reverse again, this time I think it's going to reach the take profit. So that's the second chance for getting in on this trade. Okay, that's my second time getting in on this trade. Okay, so not a high probability setup, but I got in for this setup. Okay, so the other one that we did last week was ETH USD. I remember calling for a sell. I didn't get in on this, by the way, but I do remember calling for a sell. Oh, sorry, I got in for a buy. I called for a buy. Okay, this trade would have worked out perfectly. It's just that it missed the entry by a bit. Okay, so if you guys zoom in here, the entry was anywhere within this red box, more likely to be this white line here. Okay, it missed the entry, it just missed the red box by a bit. Anyways, I didn't get into this trade at all. I got into the EUR USD. Why did I not get into this trade? Because I did put a pending order. I put a pending order here, and my pending order was not triggered, so I guess it didn't reach my take profit. But the good thing is the analysis is correct. It's just that the entry needs to be refined. Okay, the analysis is correct. The idea was correct. It's just that right now I need to work on getting better entries. And how do I work on that? I need to work on Fibonacci levels, identifying key levels, and identifying support resistance better. Okay, so today we are going to redo ETH USD. I would say both of this ended up being very good. I would say this worked out. I mean, I got out prematurely. It was supposed to be a 1 to 3 trade, but I got out at 2% profit because when I went in on Thursday to check my trade, I went in on Thursday to check my trade. I'm just like, hey, why hasn't it reached my take profit or my stop loss? Usually my trades would have ended by Thursday, but in this case it didn't end, so I got nervous and I just got out at 2% profit. Okay. Um, ETH USD didn't reach the entry, and that's okay. We'll just have to redo the analysis. Okay, so let's do EUR USD today, ETH USD today, and maybe I don't know if I want to do GBP JPY. Okay, because I usually do one non-USD pair. Maybe today we can do USD CAT, right? I know I try to diversify by doing non-USD pairs, but I just think that GBP JPY hasn't been giving me very good results, so I don't want to like stick on a pair that isn't working out for me. Okay, so maybe even AUD USD. Okay, so these are the ones that we can consider looking at, or even XAO USD actually. Sorry. Hi Nenkum, yeah. Yeah, I guess we can consider XAO USD later on because it's finally doing that pullback. Remember, I did do analysis on XAO USD. I said that if it breaks this red box here, it is likely to continue down. Why? Because it did a double top after an uptrend. So after an uptrend, it did a double top, which is signaling a slowdown, a signaling that it couldn't make a higher high, therefore more likely to be a continuation of a pullback. And true enough, it broke and continued down. Again, I did not get into this trade because I didn't do a proper analysis on it. Only trade I got in last week was on EUR/USD. Let's see what we have on EUR/USD. Let's redo this analysis. Okay, so I do want to start on the weekly again just to confirm my trend, because in case I forgot anything. Same, EUR/USD is still nothing new, still showing that it has reached a resistance on the weekly, meaning that it's it's gonna have difficulty passing this line, right? Unless it wants to make a higher high. Okay, unless it wants to make a higher high, which I think will be difficult. Okay, so I think there's just resistance on EUR/USD. Okay, on the daily though, it's telling a totally different story. Okay, on the daily, it's telling a totally different story where it is moving on an uptrend. So it could be that price is moving in an uptrend still and coming to retest this trend line. Okay, it could be retesting this bearish trend line. Okay, it could be testing this bearish trend line here. So I know on the daily it is moving up, but it could just want to touch that red trend line, see if it could break it. If it cannot break, then it will continue down. Okay, so on the daily it is moving on an uptrend. We'll just write down all the information that we are seeing. Daily, what's happening on the daily? Let's see what's on the 4 hours. Okay, I would say on the 4 hours it is moving on a downtrend, right? Can all agree that it is moving on a downtrend. What do we constitute a downtrend? A downtrend constitutes lower highs and lower lows. So because I will be focusing more on, hold on, give me a moment. Just trying to see if I can make sense of the trend. Okay, yeah. The fact that EURUSD failed to make a lower low, and it's kind of looked like it's reversing a bit actually. I might I'll just have to give a two scenario analysis. That means if this happens, then it is a sell. If this happens, then it is a buy, right? Because we've got two conflicting information, which is the weekly showing a downtrend, daily is showing an uptrend, and the H4 is showing a downtrend. So it could be that the H4 is just doing a pullback for the daily, which is doing a pullback for the weekly, right? Okay, so I'm gonna have to do one of those scenario where it's like if price does this, then it is a buy. If price does this, then it is a sell. Okay, so what am I doing right now? I'm just highlighting support and resistance levels. Can you guys give me a moment? Okay, yeah, I'm just highlighting support and resistance level, and yeah. This is too far away. I'm gonna get rid of that. Hi, Jamilu. Hi. Yikes. Someone has been changing the colors of my thingy again. Okay, give me a moment. I need to change the colors because I cannot see. Okay, I think red is a bit better. Let's try to get rid of all of this. This is all so irrelevant to us. I'm only going to keep 50% and the 61.8% because that's where price is reaching. Price already cut through 38.2%, so it's irrelevant to us, okay? There's no point keeping the 38.2%. Okay, so again, I'm going to do the same scenario. Hi. I'm gonna do the same scenario as last week, which is if price does this, then it is a sell. If price does this, then it is a buy. Reason I'm doing that is because the chart is showing conflicting trends, okay? The daily is showing an uptrend, but the H4 is showing a downtrend. So which one do you follow? You follow when the charts tell you, like if it breaks here, then it is a buy. If it breaks here, then it's a sell. Okay, so I'm gonna highlight key levels, and those key levels will help us make that decision. Resistance. Give me a moment. I just need to highlight more key levels. I'm basically highlighting more key levels to see. Nope. Okay, there's no Fibonacci projection for sure. What else can I highlight? Maybe from this swing high. Nope, nothing is lining up. So what I am doing is trying to find things that will line up in this area, and that is what is going to tell us where the next level is going to be, right? So it looks like nothing is really lining up right now. I'm just using different colors so that we can see the difference. I mean, I guess this is as 38.2 is as good as it is, as close as we can get. Okay, let me see if I can find anything else that will give me a Fibonacci level. I've got a retracement from here. Nope. Okay, I've got a retracement from here. The projection from here couldn't give me a level. Looks like I'm only able to come up with one retracement level, which, you know, is not very, it's not very good. Like, you want more levels lining up in the same place to give you more confidence. Okay, give me a moment. I can't find any. Hi. I can't seem to find any levels that make sense. Okay. Can't seem to find any level that makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna have to come up with one with whatever information I can. Okay, so I think this is as good as I can give you guys. I can come up with. So there is price came here one time and it reversed. Came here two times and then it reversed. Three times and then it reversed. It stopped respecting. And then if I pull it down a little bit more, you can see that it came down here and reversed. Okay, so price came here four times and reversed, meaning that this white box that I've highlighted here is a level where price have a tendency of reversing from, right? Is a level is where price has a tendency of reversing from. So right now price is here again. Okay, I think there is a chance it might reverse from here. Okay, why do I think that? It's because number one, okay, if I pull out Fibonacci levels, you've got it's in between the 50% and the 61.8%. Okay, so anywhere within this white box, unfortunately for today, I cannot really narrow down where exactly it's going to reverse because the Fibonacci levels are not lining up. So I cannot force Fibonacci to line up where I want it to line up. I've tried, but the only thing I can come up with is the 50% to the 61.8%. Okay, so I think there's going to be some kind of reaction happening in this white box later on. Okay, on top of that, because this light white box will line up exactly where this descending trend line is. So I would say this is a key level to look at. A key, where is it? A circle. Okay, yeah, I would say this is a key area to look at where the white box lines up together with the red dotted lines, okay, the descending trend line. Obviously it depends on how you draw it. You can draw it this way, as whatever way you want, and then it will line up differently. Okay, but minimally it should have at least 3 touches, so I would say 3 touches. This is the best that I can draw it. Okay, this is the best that I can draw it to. Okay, this is as good as I can draw it. Again, your trend line should, if your trend line isn't perfect, that's totally okay. Okay, so I think there's gonna be a reaction happening somewhere in this white box. Let me... So it's either going to be a breakout or a reversal. Okay, so it's going to be a breakout or reversal either from this white box, okay? This white box, something's gonna happen in this white box. Okay, so now that I've got my area of where I think the action is going to happen, we pull out that box. Okay, so I've already used the horizontal level, trend line, channels. Let's see if there's any chart pattern, golden cross, death cross, stochastics, RSI, and correlation. Okay, so let's see if all this other stuff will give us more information to whether it's going to be a buy or a sell. Okay, let's see if all this other stuff is going to give us more information. So let's start with EMA. By the way, for those who were here last week, we did EUR USD, yeah, EUR USD and ETH USD. Both end up being okay. It's just that ETH USD missed the entry by a bit, and EUR USD, you got in the entry perfectly. It's just that it missed the take profit for a bit, but I personally got out manually because I just so happened to saw the trade and I was nervous to why it has not. Okay, so the 50 is below the 200, which is signaling a sell. Okay, so honestly, I am a bit more biased for it being a sell. Okay, so reason to sell. Death cross. 50 moving below 200. Sorry, I think the E on my keyboard is not working. So just add an E if you see that the word is weird. Okay. Okay, number 2, descending trend line, which is this red one here, which, you know, is a downtrend. Basically, it's a downtrend. Okay, number 3, resistance, strong. Well, I wouldn't say it's a strong resistance. Okay, so why reason to sell from here? Okay, reason to sell from here is because currently price is still, the blue is still under the red. Okay, the thing about moving average that you need to take note is that it is a delayed, it is a lagging indicator. Okay, so it is a lagging indicator, but yeah, we are just this information could be delayed. It could be an uptrend now, but the MA haven't detected it yet. Okay, so that's okay. We'll just see what else is giving us. Yikes. Okay. Yeah, you know, I really could be one or the other. Okay, for those who know how to use Ichimoku, you guys know that if the blue line is above the red, it means that it is a buy, right? Hi, once the momentum is moving up, how are you positioning in a sharp rally? Let's say gold. Okay, when it comes to gold and I see a sharp rally, let's say this part doesn't exist. Okay, let's say I see price when it was here and I see price just going up. What I do is I don't trade gold at all because I don't want to jump in to a moving trade that is like I didn't get in at a good entry, right? So I don't want to jump in to a trade just because it's moving up. So what I do is I trade other stuff until the momentum is over, then I will consider trading it again. So the momentum is over because you can see the pullback happening already. So then you can reanalyze. So for those who have been following me for a long time, who has been in my webinar since August, you know that we have been tracking gold since here, right? We have been tracking gold since it was doing that triangle here. So for the longest time, even when it was here in early end of July, we already knew and we were already anticipating the upwards movement. It's just that when it was time to get in for the buy, the time to get in for a buy when it just broke up the triangle, I just so happened to not be on my computer. I was out of that trade. I don't know what happened that month or that week where I did not see this happening. But if I saw this, I would have definitely got in here for an entry for a buy. Right, I was definitely got in for a entry for a buy somewhere here. It's just that I missed it, and that's okay. It's okay if you missed it because the market is always going to be there. You don't have to force a trade. You can just come back the next time you see it again. Okay, remember we were analyzing this, and this is a wave 4 of Elliott wave, and this is the wave 5 of Elliott wave. Okay, so remember for Elliott wave, how it works is it does a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, the 1 should be here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed. How do I change the color? Okay, why can I not? Oh, there. Okay, followed by a ABC. Okay, so assuming this is wave 4 and this is wave 5, and now we see the pullback happening, we can assume that the ABC has started. Okay, we can assume that the ABC has started, provided this is truly a wave 4 and this is truly a wave 5. Okay, so I'll come back to gold later on. I might or might not want to do the analysis on it. I want to focus on EUR/USD. EUR has made me 3% 2 weeks ago. If you guys joined my webinar 2 weeks ago, that analysis, the analysis from 2 weeks ago was a 3% trade for EUR/USD. Last week, I did 2% on EUR/USD. The week 2 weeks ago, ETH/USD did a 3%, and this last week I did the analysis. It's just that price missed the entry by a little bit. So you see how price pulled back and it missed my entry by just a little bit, but yeah. So that's okay. We can just redo the analysis again. Okay, so one thing that's concerning is that Ichimoku is showing that there's a possible trend reversal. Let's see what RSI is saying and what stochastics is saying. Hey, why did it not come out? Oh, there you go. Oh, what's happening? Why is my computer so slow suddenly? Okay, let's see what we've got here. I don't see anything. I don't see a, okay, I should be looking at stochastics first. I mean RSI first. I don't see a divergence. If you guys see a divergence, let me know in the chat box, but I don't see a divergence. Remember, if you guys see it, let me know as well. Don't worry. Okay, because I don't see a divergence, the other way to use stochastics and RSI is to look for support resistance. Okay, so every time price comes back to this white line here, this white resistance, it tends to reverse. Okay, so if you guys see this, here when price got here, it reversed as well. When price reversed here, it reversed. Here it reversed, on the charts it reversed as well. Here it reversed, on the charts it reversed as well. Okay, this two didn't reach the resistance, but yeah. Here it reversed, and on the charts it reversed as well. So because stochastics and RSI is not really giving us information on divergence, I'm only using it to look for support resistance. Okay, so I'm just gonna use stochastics because stochastics is showing us really good results. If price reaches here, this white box here, and so happen it reaches here, a resistance on the stochastics, I am good to enter for a sell. I am good to enter for a sell. But if price reaches here, this white box, and here it didn't really reach, it fell short, I might not get in for a sell because I will be thinking to myself, okay, maybe there's a little bit of room for price to go a bit higher. Okay, maybe there's a little bit of room for price to go slightly higher in this trade. Okay, in this setup. Okay, so the best case scenario is that when price reaches this white box, wherever in this white box it wants to reach, is that on the stochastics it would also already reach this resistance line, and that will be a perfect signal for us to get in, for me to get in for sale. I don't want to say us, okay, because I don't want you guys to think that this is a signals group. It's not a signals group. Okay, yeah, so I'm pretty okay with this analysis. In the event that it continues and breaks this white box, I think there's a possibility the trend is over and price might want to make higher highs. Okay, price might want to go higher. So my bias for EURUSD is that there is going to be a sell action happening somewhere in this white box. My stop loss is going to be a bit higher this time. I think somewhere around here. Okay, why am I putting it so high? I usually put a really tight stop loss. It's because I cannot narrow down Fibonacci levels. So you guys know that when I do my analysis, if I pull out like Fibonacci, I can pull out a lot of levels of Fibonacci, and the Fibonacci all lines up in one area, which is showing me that that is a very strong area. Like for today, it's not really showing me one very strong point. So I do want to give a healthy stop loss that, you know, gives me a bit of breathing room. So maybe I'm going to put my stop loss here. Maybe it's just slightly here because I don't want it to be too much breathing room to the point that the trade doesn't even make sense anymore. Okay, so I think the entry is going to be somewhere within this white box, but more likely I really cannot give one, but if you're aiming for the best entry, it's going to be at the 61.8%, which is here. Okay, so we're looking about something like, it looks like it's a 1 to 4, right? It looks like it's a 1 to 4. Yeah, it is a 1 to 4 trade, 1 to 3.5. Okay, depending on where you get in, it could be a 1 to 2 to a 1 to 3.5. Okay, so anything closer to the 61.8 will be better, but yeah, obviously you cannot aim for the highest, but I guess aiming for 2.5 should be good enough in this case. And also one thing that you want to look out for is a, yeah, no divergence, I don't see it either, is a reversal pattern candlesticks. Is a reversal pattern candlestick. If you see a reversal pattern candlestick forming here, although I kind of see it happening already, so it could even be that it's time for the reversal like right now, because you see all this doji that's spinning. Okay, you guys, I don't have time to go through the reversal pattern candlesticks, but basically just Google it and see if you see any of it forming here. If you see it forming here, that is a good sign to get in for a sell. If you see a reversal pattern candlesticks, if not, it could be that price wants to go higher. Okay, I'm just hoping it goes a bit higher and then reverses. Okay, I'm just hoping it goes a bit higher and then reverses. That will be the best case scenario. Yeah. Okay, let's see what ETH is doing. So last week I called for a buy for ETH. I personally did not get into this trade because it missed the entry. I did get into EURUSD last week where I called for a sell here. I called for a sell here where price is right now actually. And sell all the way to here. It's just that it didn't reach to the take profit. It missed the take profit by a bit, but I did manually get out here. I got out here, manually got out here, because I didn't like that price was taking so long, so I manually got out. Okay, so let's see what ETH USD is doing. Start with the weekly. Okay, it's at a resistance right now. Resistance for the weekly. Does it want to go and retest that resistance, or does it want to come down now? Okay. Okay, so let's see what it's doing on the daily. On the daily, it looks more like it, I don't know, it looks more like, yeah, it looks like it's having a very hard time breaking this resistance here. It looks like, I don't think price, I think eventually one day Ethereum will break this. Okay, I believe Ethereum will go way, way higher than this. I just think right now, at this current point of time, it is having a hard time doing that. Okay, you can see that it's making lower lows. Okay, you can see that it's making lower lows here, but it's not making lower highs. So it's not a downtrend, but it is having a hard time breaking this resistance here. So let's see what the charts are telling us. Even on the 4 hours, it's kind of going sideways. Do you guys see that? It is just like it's going sideways. It's having a hard time breaking this low. Okay, so another case of if this happens, then this. Okay, so if I'm very tempted to get in for a sell here. Okay, why did I highlight this white box? You can see price coming here 1 time, 2 times. I mean, if I pull it back even more, right? There's a lot of rejection happening in this white box area. Okay, 3 times, 4 times, whatever times. It came here and retest 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and then now we are on the 7th time. Okay, so this white box is where price tends to react off. Okay, and this white box here at the bottom, because price came here 1 time, 2 times, and 3 times, this is where price tend to react off as well. Okay, so again, this will be one of those if scenarios. Let's plot Ichimoku first. Is it, did I not click it, or is it my computer? Let's pull out EMA. Give me like a moment to look at this. I think it's a trend reversal. I think it's going to end up being an uptrend. I think, okay, I'm a bit more biased of price breaking here. Okay. If it's looking as if price wants to go higher. Right? It is really looking as if price wants to go higher. So I'm a bit more biased of getting in for a buy at this current point of time. But price needs to break this white box first. It needs to break this white box for me to consider getting for a buy. Okay, so I'll tell you why I'm considering getting in for a buy. So first things first, you can see, hold up. Hi Shibito Shayaka. Give me a moment. I will go into XAU in USD in a bit. Okay, so why am I considering? Because you can see that there's that very strong push up where price even went above the 50 EMA, right? So it's not even respecting the 50 EMA. Okay, so on top of that, when we see Ichimoku, price is clearly moving above the Ichimoku cloud. Do want to get rid of this. I know that on the EMA, it is still moving on a downtrend. Okay. There is a bullish divergence. Do you guys see it? On the charts, price is doing horizontal levels. Okay? Do you guys see how price is doing horizontal level here? Okay, but on RSI, right, price is clearly moving in an uptrend. See? If bullish divergence, price is making the same lows, but on the oscillator, it's making higher highs. Okay, this is a sign of bullish divergence. Okay, I am bias of ETH making a high right now. Okay, let's do my analysis. Let's put my reasoning into black and white. Okay, why bias to buying? Okay, why? Okay, the first thing first is there is a bullish divergence on other side. Number two, momentum. There's a current bullish momentum happening. The bullish momentum has broken the 50 EMA, right? Price is failing to make lower lows. Okay. I I'm a bit more biased. Okay, so how do I get in for this buy? Price needs to break white box to confirm bullishness. Okay, then this area will basically be the buy entry. Okay, this then ends up becoming the stop loss. And the take profit will be the next swing high. Okay, that is aiming for really, that's really aiming for a lot, because this is like the high of all time. Okay, so if you go to the weekly, you can see that that is the highest high of Ethereum. Okay, that is the highest high of Ethereum. Okay, if in a different scenario, okay, if in a different scenario, a reversal pattern candlesticks appear, reversal pattern candlestick appear, you start to see reversal pattern candlestick appear, it means that price did not have enough strength to break this white box, and therefore it will pull back to this area. That's why I write here this is a buy or sell area. Okay, I cannot confirm the trend because of the structure of the charts. It's a bit hard to confirm the trend. Okay, so I have an idea of a buy or a sell somewhere on this white box. I am just more biased of it being a buy because of all these reasons, but there is still a chance that price is going to reverse from here. Okay, there is still a chance that price is going to reverse from here. If it breaks out, then it's going to go up from here. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys for let's see. I'm sorry I couldn't give a definitive direction for today. It's because the charts are not giving me clear direction. The price is moving sideways. You can see that price is moving sideways, right? So when price is not making higher highs, higher lows, I don't have a trend, right? Price is currently ranging, so I don't have a trend. Whenever price is ranging, I can only look for reversals or breakout signals. Okay, zones where it's going to be a reversals or breakout. Same for EUR USD. I am a bit more biased of it being a sell because this one has a trend, right? This one has a trend. You can see it going down. So this one has a trend. That's why I'm a bit more biased for it to being a sell. I have a bias. But for ETH USD, although I have like a weak bias, okay, if I have to say I have like a 60% chance of it going up, if I have to give you my bias, it is a 60% chance that it is up and 40% chance that it's down. Okay, this is why, because the direction is not very clear. But when I see ETH US EUR USD, I would say I have a 75% bias that it's down and a 25% bias that is up. Okay, so this one, the direction is way clearer than this. Okay, so yeah, let's look at gold. Okay, assuming ABC has started, I now need to measure. Okay, I can't do the analysis for gold. Okay, I cannot do the analysis for gold, but basically I do think that this is, okay, 1, 2, 3. I don't know where 1 started. I need to redo the analysis. This is the end of 4, and then this is 5. Okay, that's basically what I think happened here. Okay, therefore, I think this is a B, and C. Okay, if I am correct, then this should be a B, and C. Why is the A, B, and C so deep and so big? It's because after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, and C has a tendency to pull back to the end of 4. Okay, so 4 started here. Therefore, A, B, C has a tendency to pull back for the end of 4. Okay, but that is just an idea that I have. I don't know if it's true because I need a bit of time to reanalyze gold. So give me some time to reanalyze gold, and I will come back to you guys on what I have by next week. Okay, so I cannot give you analysis. My just very vague analysis and what I think is happening with gold is that it's finally started. Wave 5 has ended. Again, I am an Elliott wave trader. So how Elliott wave works is that it does a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it does A, B, C. A, B, C, back to number 4, usually back to number 4. And then it starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. It's just a repetition. It keeps doing that. It keeps doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by ABC, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by ABC. Okay, Elliott wave keeps doing that. But if you guys see closely, it's actually a bigger picture of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC is actually a very big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I think we are done with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're going into the ABC. If we are truly done with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is truly a start of ABC, I think C is going to end at 3,200 area. Okay, I think. But that is just a thought and that is just an idea. I cannot confirm whether it is correct or not because I don't have enough time today. Okay, and I'm done with today's webinar. Okay, so I'll see you guys next week. Can you guys let me know in the chat box? Can I get a consensus? Are you guys okay if I move the live analysis session to Tuesday at 6 p.m. Singapore time? Is everyone okay if I move the webinar to Tuesday at 6 p.m. Singapore time? Let me know, or do you guys still prefer the Monday analysis? Like anyone at all. If not, I'm just gonna do it. Jamilu, Lily, Andres, anyone? You guys are the regulars. That means it will be GMT plus 8. Okay, so I guess no comments means that everyone's okay. I will be moving it because I won't be free on Mondays moving forward. So I will talk to IC Markets to move it. If you guys are okay, then I will start seeing you guys on Tuesday, starting in December. Okay, so for next week, it's still going to be Monday. So I'll see you guys next Monday. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye.